Hello everybody! Today we are driving the brand new Polestar 4. Now this is a really important vehicle for the brand because they're predicting that it will be the most popular vehicle in its entire lineup. So there's a lot riding on its success. This is a brand new EV and it's a kind of a weird vehicle. Like you can't even tell what it is by looking at it. Is it a sedan? Is it a crossover? I'm not sure, but Polestar calls it a coupe SUV. And I guess I'm just going to address the elephant in the room right away because there is no rear window. That makes it really unique because there's really no other consumer vehicle out there right now that has no rear window. And it has a camera-based rear view system, which takes a little bit of getting used to, but honestly, it's not as tricky as I thought it would be. So that's really good news. So regardless of which Polestar 4 you get, they all come with a 100 kilowatt hour battery and are capable of 200 kilowatt fast charging. So that's really good to see. You will be able to get a single motor rear wheel drive model or a dual motor all-wheel drive model. So if you want more range, the single motor rear wheel drive one is the one you want. That one's rated to get about 480 something kilometers of range, where the dual motor all-wheel drive one is only rated to get like 430 something kilometers. Both of which are okay numbers, but I would really like to see them push past the 500 kilometer threshold. I think that would really help differentiate them in the market. Not that they need more help differentiating themselves, because as it is, this is a very unique vehicle in the entire EV space. There's really nothing else out there that's like this, even just based on looks. Like, it has a very striking, eye-catching design. And I really like how Polestar is kind of pushing the boundaries when it comes to design. You know, it's kind of nice that they're not afraid to do crazy things like delete the rear window. And in regards to that rear window, you know, they said they did that to increase headroom for the rear seat passengers. And like, there is a lot of space back there, so it's not just like crazy marketing talk. It does make a lot of sense. So you may remember Polestar as Volvo's kind of performance division, and as a standalone brand, performance is still really important to them. So that's going to mean that this EV has tons of power, and this EV platform is absolutely fantastic. So the rear wheel drive single motor version is rated to get 272 horsepower and 253 pound-feet of torque. Now, if you want more performance, you should opt for the dual motor all-wheel drive model, and that one's going to give you a crazy 544 horsepower and 506 pound-feet of torque. Now, that is absolutely insane. That means that can get you from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in about 3.8 seconds. That will give you that like gut punch, instant acceleration that will really shove you into the back of your seat, and you will never need more power than that. You're going to be breaking laws in just seconds. So I think it's more than enough power to pass people and get up to speed with absolutely no issues at all. So in terms of driving dynamics, this thing, again, is kind of performance focused. So it mostly feels good. Like, I don't think it feels very sporty, but it does feel very calm and collected and very composed. Of course, the steering feels very light, although you can adjust it in the settings through the touchscreen and to firm it up a little bit. But I still think sometimes it feels a little bit too light and jittery, even in the most firm setting. So I would really like to see them have a steering system that feels more direct, maybe a little bit more predictable. And one pedal driving is available, which I love to see. You can turn it on or off, and there's 2 levels of strength. And what I like the most about this system is that it is very easy to get used to. Like, it's not very jarring. You're not going to make your passengers car sick. So I think they did a really good job making that part feel very natural. And even without that rear window, I feel like visibility is very good. Even though this front windshield is so steeply raked, I feel like there's not really any issue with frontward visibility. So that's always going to be good, because you know that safety is going to be top of mind for Polestar because they are so closely affiliated with Volvo. So they all come standard with a huge list of safety features. Everything you expect will be there, which is great, and I love to see it. So going back to that powertrain for a little bit, I really like it because it will also be available with vehicle to load bi-directional charging. That means you should be able to use it to power your house or maybe power your campsite, and that just makes it a lot more practical. And speaking of practicality, I think Polestar did a really great job making sure that this interior is very practical. So not only did they include a lot of space inside for small item storage with this huge shelf under here, big door pockets, there is also a very useful frunk, which is a great place to store charging cables and such. And the rear seats can also fold in a 40-60 pattern if you need to fit even bigger stuff through the trunk, and that really helps. The rest of the interior is really beautiful. It's very well built. They've really embodied that Scandinavian practicality and simplicity really nicely. So everything just feels like tight and high end. And they've tried to replace a lot of the hard touch surfaces with textures to keep things a bit more interesting and a little bit higher end. Like you can see, this kind of fabric on the door panels is a 3D printed knit. And I really like it because it's inspired by what's found on sneakers and sportswear and stuff. So it's really cool that they found inspiration for these textiles outside of the automotive sphere. And I think that really helps them be more creative. And I really like it in here. The ambient lighting is really beautiful. And it also comes with this optional electrochromatic roof, which you can adjust to be clear or a little bit shaded if you want less sun. Like all other Polestar vehicles, the 4 has a Google-based infotainment system. And if you're used to what Tesla is offering, I think you'll be able to get used to this system very easily. But if you're not really used to that touchscreen based infotainment system, absolutely everything is centralized in here. So you might find the learning curve a little bit high. I found it a little bit tricky to use, especially when I'm driving. So it would have been nice to see them add a few more buttons in here to make it a bit more user friendly, but there are almost no buttons in here. So that's just something you'll have to get used to because this is really what's normal these days. So that about wraps it up. I wish I could provide you with a more detailed review, but I'm really excited to drive this back at home for a longer term so I could really report back to you on more stuff about efficiency and how easy or hard it is to live with day to day. But until then, thank you so much for joining me. Bye.